streaming again. Oops. It's a little cold today, a little tired today, but I've got my coffee, which always helps out a little bit, and I am going to keep working on programmatic CAD. We'll see how things go. I think I might spend more time just kind of trying to clean up the code base and getting things set up, because I have a few projects I need to work on this week. So if I can set things up to get those going again, that might be pretty nice. I don't know. I'll have to see though. I'm also gonna pull up the chat on here just in case. But things are looking okay, at least for the time being. At least I think so. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, I'll do this. Well, there I am. All right, perfect. Okay. Okay, so that does work. All right, so let me get things going again. I have a little bit of progress actually when it comes to the polygon union work. This is nearly complete, which is a nice step in the right direction. I'll explain what's going on in just a moment. Let's pop that out there. Okay. All right, so on my end, things seem to be more or less set up. So if there's anyone tuned in wanting to chat, talk about code stuff they're working on, anything like that, you know the drill. You go right ahead and chat away. I always enjoy, interacting with the chat. So please don't be scared. Go ahead and do that if you're into that sort of thing. I always like it. Okay. So right here, I'm in the middle of sorting out a polygon union function. It's a bit of a misnomer still, because right now if I pass in 2 polygons, it gives me a list of lines left in the polygon, which is what you see being rendered here. I just chose random colors so I could see all the different segments, and it works just fine, except that I don't want to save as the data structure the lines. I just want the point coordinates in the order of all the lines. So I'm making this function to try and order the lines, and that's not currently working because I built it wrong. I have this here. It stops working after the second iteration here. So we're getting close, but we're not quite there yet. So it's starting on the correct line here, and it is pulling the correct line here, but from there it's not quite working. I might have conj in the wrong order, as it turns out. Collection, and then x. Yeah, no, so that should be correct there. And lines should always be the same, so that shouldn't really be a problem. This is always the next thing, and you always look a little confused as to why this changes, or why this occurs here. So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Here's a line. Okay, it's nested incorrectly, so that's the problem. For whatever reason. Why would that be? Oh, yeah, I have to actually do this. Next should be always first filter, because it'll always only be one element. The filter should always reduce, like, what am I saying? This here, filter, returns a list of results that match the filter. So normally it can be, if you're mapping if you're filtering over a collection of, let's say, 20 items, 20 elements in a list, and the filter happens to correctly match in 3 cases, it returns a lazy sequence of those 3 matched results. But in this situation here, it will guaranteed match only 1, and so the list will always be 1 long. So I want to unwrap it once by doing first here, and that should, I think, fix the setup here. Okay, so if I count polygon union AB, I think it's 14. Oh, it's 10. Okay. But if I now count this order, it's also 10. So we didn't lose anything. And let's just visually inspect, pardon me, and I can see if the order is correct. And it looks, in fact, like it is, with a duplicate here, which is interesting. See this? So that's interesting. There's a loop situation going here. Interesting. Okay. But it is chained together correctly. Oh, look at, that's strange. Is it strange? Let me see. Possibility that I have done this wrong. Hey Mike, I'm doing well today. How are you? I'm a little bit cold. I'm a little bit tired on a Monday today, but I'm doing well. Hope you're doing okay. I'm nearly done, or I think I'm nearly done with this polygon union function, which admittedly is not a very elegant function at this stage. A lot of things I'm sure I can optimize, but I'm actually getting closer to done with it, which is nice. Yeah, I look bundled up right now. Yeah. You know, I do actually not mind the cold though. It's always easier to put layers on than it is to take them off, so I'm totally fine with the cold. And you're doing well, just chugging along? Yeah. Got a bit of that Monday energy. As in, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'll admit I had a hard time getting out of bed today. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. Just the way it goes. Glad you tuned in for a bit. I appreciate that. It's really nice. You know, there are days I love streaming, but there are days where like there's just the mental block. I don't quite want to get onto the computer to do it, but it's always good confirmation that it's worthwhile, you know, when you get people chatting. So appreciation right up front. All right. I think if I do, let's see here. If I do this, I think map v first sorted. Okay, and then if I move this, I'm gonna just try this and see if it actually works. We'll find out soon. So if I run order lines over this last function, okay, let's have a look here. If I do polygon union of A, B, it gives me a polygon out, which is a big step in the right direction. So I want to draw that here to see if it actually looks correct. Same man, I enjoy my job a lot, but some days I just want to lounge. Yeah, I do feel like, so I've worked a few jobs that I would say I really liked and a few jobs I absolutely didn't like, and no matter what, there were days where it felt okay to go and it didn't feel okay to go. It's like, for whatever reason, the feeling of a day is kind of independent, or at least only partially dependent on what you're going to be doing that day. Sometimes, I don't know. I guess you could say mood is orthogonal to activity to some degree, because it's not guaranteed. Because there's some activities I can say I'll be in a bad mood for no matter what. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't think this is exactly correct, but I want to get the visual idea over here so that I can think about it a little more easily. Come on, let's get rid of that. Alright, zip that up, get out of there. Mike, I don't remember if I asked, do you write Clojure as part of your work? Or do you use other languages? I'm not sure if I've asked you that before. If I did, I apologize for not remembering. Let's see. Okay, so here is the theoretically working function. Let me see here. This and this, no, that should stay. Let's go like this, PGE, and let's start there. I've not. Okay. Java plus Spring shop right now. Tinkering with Clojure and Clojure script for a web app for myself. Ooh, man, that's exciting. Good luck. I mean, I'm sure if you work in Java and Spring, you'll probably have a fairly smooth on-ramp to Clojure. I mean, so I actually have never been a Java or JavaScript dev at any point. So I just jumped right into Clojure and Clojure script. So I do from time to time feel when I look up something and someone says, oh yeah, that's easy to do a Java interop, that kind of stuff just flies right over my head. So if you've got that Java background, I do feel like that's a big asset. So that's pretty cool. Sounds nice. And Spring is like the UI library, right? Or I don't remember. Computer, it's a little slow today. Services. Spring Framework. Let's have a quick peek here. Enterprise apps on any kind of deployment platform. Cool, neat. I feel like I should know a little bit about Spring because I am quite certain that Clojure does use it from time to time. I don't, or people have made wrappers or whatever. It's a framework for building web services. Okay, at least that's what we're using it for. Front end using React because it's fancy and stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've mentioned that. I've mentioned it on stream. I use React as well, not because it's the latest hotness so much as, oh, that's not much of a helpful search there, but because I've heard about Reagent on the Clojure side of things and I thought it was cool and I started using that a little bit. So I don't know anything about React, I just know some things about Reagent. So I have all these gaps in knowledge underlying the libraries that I do know. It's a major problem, like I can't do that forever, but this is why Reagent is exactly why I use React. At least for now. It's powerful, you just don't do front-end work, not your area of expertise. Oh yeah, I don't doubt that it's powerful. I also, as you might tell, don't really do front-end. I kind of do, I do just enough front-end to get visual output and then kind of go like this for the time being. I have to learn a little bit more about it at some point, but I do happen to know that the model, the reactive UI approach with Reagent is pretty neat, so yeah, there's good stuff there. But yeah, front end is different than everything else too, right? So it's not necessarily easy to just hop on into it. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I was gonna reload this. Let me go ahead and zip up here, load this. One day I'm gonna make my workflow smooth, but it's not today. What's wrong here? What's going on? Yeah, I know enough to be able to develop, but if you're talking about powerful leveraging, cutting edge features, it's over my head. Yeah, I would say exactly the same. Yeah. And, well, like, for any UI that I could think of to try and build for the stuff I want to do, I quite frankly don't really need all that much. The only thing I don't think really exists yet is a reactive UI in the context of a 3D environment. So like, in other CAD programs you can click faces and select things and move them around, but I don't know what I'm saying even. It's what's a good example? I got nothing. It doesn't never mind. I just feel as if there's a sort of overlap with 3D CAD and a model like React that isn't fully developed yet. And I don't know. I don't know enough about it to build it myself, unfortunately, but I also haven't needed to build anything crazy in terms of UI yet. There might come a time. Something's going wrong and I don't know why. It's a classic conundrum. Maybe, okay. This is a big step in the right direction here. Yeah, so I have, it would appear that I have successfully created a polygon union operation here. I think. Gotta have a little peek over here. So let's get rid of C. Let's get rid of a lot of this mess here. Let's go ahead, A, B, C. Okay. I points should work, right? Yeah. So if I go here for point and points, this should work as well. If I do circle of radius 2, yeah. Everything here looks like it should work. Let's go ahead and render this. Okay, so we're in the money with this one. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. So if I do PGA, PGB, and PGC, PG for polygon, A is the green lines here, B is the black ones here, and then C is the blue overlining, the blue overlap there, with the intersection points in red there. So that's pretty good. I do have to see if there are duplicate points here that I don't actually need, but it looks like I'm okay. Yeah, things look good. Okay, that's pretty awesome. All right, let's kind of try to put this through its paces a little bit here. Let me come up with some new shapes. If I move this 5, 5 like this and rebuild this, something's wrong here. Oh, wait a second. That should have rebuilt. Okay, so I'm missing something. Oh, here. It might not be good because I was rendering the wrong thing. Let's have a look. Okay, that's still looking okay. Now let's pop this way out. Let's go 16. So that's on the, it's like an outer shape now. Okay, so here we have some inaccuracy with the render now. Okay, so there's this line here that doesn't make any sense. And we're missing this little jog out here. This should have a little node like that that jumps out like that. So there's still issues, unfortunately. But we're getting closer, which is nice. Approaching an effective answer. One day I'll get there. Not quite right. Okay, so There seems to be I bet if I move this point down here so it's back to only 2 intersection points, that it would work again. I think there's something related to the number of intersection points that causes misalignment of line segments, unfortunately. So let me test that theory for a minute. Let's move 12.5. We'll move it to, I want to move it to 22.1. Okay. And then I'll see what that looks like. Yeah, so that's correct again. I'll zoom this out a little bit. Oh, it's just out of its, out of the zone. Save that. Have a look at this. Oh, what have I done now? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this is right. It's as soon as I have more than 2 intersection points that it starts to goof up a little bit. So I want to do one other little thing here. If I move this point to, ooh, what's the second point there? 13.2. By the way, these shouldn't need to be floats. They get converted to floats during the process. All right, let's have a look. Ooh, maybe I was wrong about that. That's strange. Or maybe it's related to this. Let's have a look. Oops. Nope. Nope. There. Ah, I was wrong. They need to be, I was pretty sure that I cast them to floats at one point, but obviously that's something I need to fix. Ooh. Come on. There we go. All right. Let's see if that fixes that. Okay. I definitely want to make that more ergonomic. I don't want to have to make everything afloat explicitly at the front. I want things to convert to float only when they need to be converted to float. So here's another problem. This is not correct. So I'm inching closer to the solutions, but oh boys, it's still a little ways off. There we go. I've got a whole bunch of nil values in that list. I have the correct number of segments, it looks like, or number of points I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 8. There might be a duplicate at the end. That's well, no point staring at it. I should try to figure out what's going on. Okay. So let's pop on over to Forge here. Okay, here's the monstrosity. Let's have a look. If I step this back a little bit, let me get rid of the ordered lines thing. I wonder, I probably should split this out into like a few different functions and just kind of combine them into a pipeline so it's easier to read, because this is confusing to me anyway. So, So, right, like, it's like trim lines at intersections, right? That's that. And then here, remove degenerate lines. Point A equals point B. Yeah. Which really, I should almost have it. So I'm being kind of lazy, right? Because right here, this for loop generates a list of line segments, the originals and all of the trimmed areas, but it also creates a degenerate case where the like 0.1 on a line and 0.2 happen to be equal. So it makes sense, instead of just filtering that out, just disallowing that up front in the trim at point function. I would guess that makes more sense. So that's where optimizing this approach makes a lot of sense. Cleaning it up, because it's confusing as well. So I don't totally love it yet, but I was getting close, so I kind of want to keep going. Okay. Yeah. All right, let me see what this returns. Oh, we've got some strange looking numbers here. It's always fun. Okay, what's going on with this? I have an idea, kind of. If I zip this up like this, if I go over here and def ASDF as this list, I can draw ASDF right away. Hey, what's going on? I'm a little confused as to why that happened. Oh, right, of course. It's gotta not be that. I have to do... That's wrong. That's just wrong. PGC. This here for line in ASDF. What does that look like? Let's have a look. Now I can build it. Doesn't look like anything. Oh, because I'm blocking it, of course. It's, this Scratch code always ends up looking terribly, terribly messy. Okay, so this is kind of, it's correct-ish. There's a problem with this line here. I don't know why that's extended past that. Why would that be? So okay, so in this case, I basically get the right result, or nearly get the right result out of the gate without filtering anything further. So what's the deal with that? Okay, so if I run this result through, if I order lines here, okay, there's a whole bunch of nils situations, of course. So we start at 0, 0, 10, 10, just because, and I've got 10, 0, 13, 2, and I should, okay, so here's a problem. I've got ambiguity in the order because I have two coincident points here, which is incorrect. That doesn't make sense. Why there should not be that. And that probably arises because of this. I bet this counts as two. I bet there are two intersection points there. One. I've got 1, 2. No, that's not it. I only have 3 intersection points there, so that's not quite right. 3, 12. Yeah, okay, so this 13.2 thing is right here. I don't know, I've got no ideas running through my brain at the moment. So this is a, like that, oops, did I delete something? Okay. So with that path gone, this seems to work. So I just don't know why that path happens to exist. It shouldn't really. What could be causing that? What could be causing that? I don't like this right now. Trying to think of anything I can do to help out. Don't have any idea though. Yeah, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. I completely understand, because what I'm doing right now is not particularly clear either. So like this is even to me, I'm losing track of how I was trying to do this earlier. So let me maybe just I'll verbalize some of what I have going on here, and then maybe I'll even figure out some things that are going wrong. So the general idea for a polygon union is to, first I get the intersection points between two polygons. So polygons I'm just listing as lists of points. So A and B are these two polygons. For the sake of a drawing, I have, well, this is maybe not clear at the moment. Let me see if I can switch it. Oh, whoops, here, yeah. So like, I don't blame anyone for not following what all this is. This looks like total garbage, right? It's not clear at all. So no problems there, or no fault of anyone's there. Let me draw A and B in this diagram though. Let's refresh that. Okay, so A is this green line, and B is this black line here. So those are two independent polygons, A, B. Those are the point locations of each of those. This algorithm that I'm trying, I kind of invented it myself, loosely speaking. I'm trying to sort of come up with my own algorithm and approach, get it working, and then see where there are real optimizations, you know? Because it's, I think, a good exercise to really struggle through some problems on your own before you look everything up. So what happens here, you get the intersection points, and then I get a list of lines here. Now this list of lines becomes what I do for each line in the first polygon and the second polygon. I try to trim that line using an intersection point. So trims becomes this result here. So trim at point L. So it'll either be nil, or the function trim at point will, let's try to illustrate it for a minute. Trim at point, if I give it a line 0, 0 to 1, 1, and I want to trim it at 1, 2, it will return nil, because that point does not exist on the line, so it can't trim it. That's the logic of this function anyway. But if I want to trim it on point 2 and point 2, because it is on that line, it will give back the two line segments at that point. So this function, for every line, it tries to trim it at every intersection point, so it'll either be nil, or it'll return two segments. So then just sort of set it up to be a flat list, apply concat. In theory, that list of lines is now every line segment from each polygon with trims at the intersection points. So that's why I had the lines being drawn in multicolors, so I could see that they were actually being trimmed correctly, right? So this single black line here, because it's got an intersection point here, becomes two vertical lines sharing the same midpoint. And same with this horizontal one here, it becomes two lines there. So this is a special sort of case, and I don't know that I've accounted for it properly. because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 points all technically kind of intersecting there, but that's not really it's not an intersection point in the same way that this is. So there's no meaningful trim to occur there, so this might be messing up some of the logic I used over here. So I have to check that. That's probably something that's going wrong. Anyway, once I've established that list, I just, right here, I'm just filtering any degenerate line situation where each line segment points are equivalent, so it's not actually a line, it's just a point. That's, I think, just because I haven't bothered to figure out a smoother way to write this yet, so I just went brute force and filtered out those sorts of problems. Then here, the idea is take the midpoint of every single segment and check if it is inside the other polygon. Then do the same for the other polygon, all of the lines. And then you unify those lists, you concatenate those two lists, and that should give you only those lines that are on the perimeter. That was the idea there. Because any segment whose midpoint is inside either of the shapes can be safely removed. So this segment here has a midpoint that's inside the first polygon, therefore it's safe to exclude. But this outer segment right here has a midpoint that is on the edge of polygon B only. It's not inside polygon A, so it's not removed. So that was the logic. It's also possible that there are It is quite possible there are circumstances in which my assumptions also don't make any sense, and it's almost always, I'm sure, related to intersection point situations. So it's a little complicated, as you can see. The logic seems pretty sound. The point where 4 lines converge is almost certainly the problem, like you had mentioned. Yeah, I think it is, and I'm trying to think. I don't want to special case too many things, you know. I want to be kind of as straightforward as possible, so I'm trying to think through maybe the way I'm doing trims is incorrect, you know. If I go back here, this point here is on PGA is this right here, 13.2. If I make it 13.2.001, I bet this will work. What did I miss here? Maybe not. Let's not be so aggressive with that. Am I changing the right point here? Oh, I'm changing the wrong point. Of course, I meant, I take it back. Let's change this to 2 and this 13 to 13.01. So it's just nudged to the right ever so slightly. Yeah, see, now it doesn't count as an intersection point. So if I were to render PGC, I think it'll look the way I hope. Well, there's an issue. Unable to resolve symbol underscore. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's fix that. And draw that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I have to fix that because I'm like, see, that's the thing. I'm so close. It's so close to being what I need it to be. This blue outline is exactly like that, looks correct, right? But obviously I know that I cheated it because I nudged a point over manually, and there's no way that's not a solution. That's avoiding the problem. Okay. I'm gonna get myself a coffee for a second, and I'll be back to tackle the problem shortly. Okay, so almost certainly want to start thinking about trim logic here, seeing if that makes any sense to me. But I'll be right back, just gonna fill this up. Ooh, all right. Okay, Mike, let's see here. What happens when you use the trim function on a line and put the endpoint of the line as a parameter? Good question. Let's trim. Oh, let's just be lazy. Okay, so 0, 0, 1, 1 at 1, 1. Ah, okay. This should. So that's a great that's a great question, because it highlighted that's where the degenerate points come from, right? Yeah, I think you're onto something. This is definitely not what I need. So let me go ahead and fix that up. I'm slightly concerned that my first thought is this, that in a situation like this where trim at point has an endpoint being passed to it, it should return nil. The only thing I'm concerned about is maybe there's an edge case that now I'm ignoring where I want it to not trim, but I do want it to return the line. So I'm going to set it to nil and explore the consequences of that. I'll have a look, because this is very clearly a situation that's causing bad data, so I should at the very least look at that, right? Let me see. So when online, okay, so this is why trim at point returns this, because there's a predicate I have that asks online, right? So if I do this, it does make sense that this predicate, whoops, if I were to, oh yeah, I still have to fix this, but if I make this, I have to make these points 3D, which I'll assume is fine for now. Oh, I also have to make them floats. Boy, see, there's a lot of work. I'm gonna have to pull in spec soon to really kind of formalize all the stuff in my head about this, all the things I need to fix up. What did I do wrong here? I did something wrong. Okay, online. Oh, I've got the point and line arguments flipped around. That's what's wrong. Okay. Anyway, my point is the predicate online, it makes sense to return true if you give an endpoint to that line because it is exactly on the line. But for a trim, it doesn't make any sense. So I need to change up this condition here. So when online and not endpoints, basically. It's messy, but that's okay. Not equal. Come on, what did I just do here? There we go. You know what I can do? I can destructure this like that. And here I can just do A. Here I can just do B. Yeah. So here I need A and point to not be equal and wait a second, let's see here. Am I inverting things when they shouldn't be inverted? Okay, I need, no, this has to be and, right? I could just do this, when and. Boy, this is normally not hard to think about, but when you have to think through simple things in the public eye, as it were, on stream, it's embarrassing how hard this becomes to think through. So I need it to be true that A is not equal to point and B is not equal to point and the point is on the line. Yes, I think that's correct. Let's have a little peek here. Of course, it's a case of the Mondays. Even trivial tasks are multiplied in difficulty. Yeah, that's, you know what, I'll take any excuse I can get. Yeah, that's online. So let's just run trim at point now and see if it nils out. Okay, we're on the right track. So if I do 0, 0 here, now I also have nil. Okay, it looks like I'm heading down the right path now. I am pretty happy with that. Okay, let's have a little peek at this function now. If I run polygon union A, B, all right, it looks, okay. If I order lines of this, okay, that actually looks correct at a sort of quick cursory glance. So if I are polygon A and B still off by that little amount? They are. So this is another, maybe you didn't catch this, but I have two different REPLs here. So here, that is a great question. Thanks for asking. A in this REPL here is 13.0, but if I put A in this REPL, it gives an error. A PGA in this one is 13.01. So yeah, it's confusing. So no loss of points on your end for missing that. I do this a lot. I make my workspace look really it feels scatterbrained, and that's because it is. But this one here is where I'm generating this, and then this one here is the CAD library directly and I'm not importing things into this library. So in theory, this, where I'm actually drawing out CAD stuff, if the Forge library were 100% correct, I wouldn't have to even have it open. I would just have it imported into this library and be messing around on that. But because the iterative process happens really, really quickly still, like my library is not really near feature complete at all, nor is it close to correct. I basically have to be editing in two spots. But that is something that I've been trying to figure out a better way to do my workflow. But in the meantime, I've got this kind of messy looking 2REPL approach that it works okay, but it's a little slow and kind of silly sometimes and hard to follow. So totally makes sense that you might miss some of that stuff. What I want to do, I do have to zip this thing back up, as it were, by running order lines over this, and that should, let me run it in this REPL. Okay, so that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit, or I miscounted. Let's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Let's trace it out. Let's do things the old-fashioned way for a minute here. 0, 0, 10, 0, 13, 2, 10 point whatever, 9 point whatever, 13, 12, that seems correct there, 3, 12, here it looks right, 3, 10, correct there, 0, 10, oh yeah, and then it should close itself, so I must have miscounted somewhere. Anyway, blah blah blah, save this, let's confirm or try to confirm over here now in the other REPL. Oh dear. Let's find it there. Okay. Now here, let's get rid of that 0.1 offset there. Let's build that. This should look incorrect. Yeah, it's not generating properly. But now let's restart the session to load in the code change. This is the part that I mean when I say I want to improve my workflow. If I'm using a library in a different code base, but I need to make a change in that library, I need to completely restart the REPL session to make sure that that code gets loaded in properly. I would imagine that there are other ways to do that, or I would hope. I just haven't looked, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is no way to kind of hot reload library code. I don't know. But it is the slow part, or one of the slow parts. Hey, something wrong with SVG. Well, that's strange. What? How did that happen? Well, okay. let me try to load this. Yeah, okay. I don't understand why that happened. That shouldn't be true. Let's have a look here. Oh, I see. I pressed the wrong. I didn't load the. I see. I'm just not reading. I have to still load the file, and there we go. Yes, that's fine. Okay, this ASDF thing here is garbage now. Let's comment it out for a second. Okay. Alright, the moment of truth. Yes. Okay, that looks correct. That blue outline's right there. Alright. I'll take that as a win. Now, is it a full win or a partial win? Nice, man. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Now to see if it's a partial win or a little more of a thorough win. Let's pop this 13 back to 12 here. So I make a situation where there are 4 intersection points. That's the next thing to have a look at. So it's still going wrong there. Okay, so I'll chalk that up as a partial win. You know what? I'm not discouraged. I'm gonna take this as a good thing, but there's still something going wrong, which is well, it's a little disappointing. But hey, you know what? I already solved one problem. All right. And actually, let me jump this out again. Let's make sure that I didn't break the 2 intersection scenario. Okay, so that's working. Now the 3 intersection thing seems to be working, and now it's a matter of fixing the next little problem. But steps in the right direction. That's nice. I'm happy with that. Okay, forward progress is the best kind of progress. Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, no complaints for me whatsoever. This is definitely a nice step. It's quite amazing to me how complex dealing with polygons actually is. Like, it's. I mean, I guess it's not complex. It's just there's a lot of machinery behind it, as it were. And in comparison, the union of a functional representation solid is like pretty trivially easy. And that's the thing that's kind of funny. Free union, no. Of course, that doesn't make any sense. Functional representation union. Here we go. Right, so anyway, I don't need to get into the details of this. I'm just distracting myself. If you have a functional representation, so basically a mathematical object that gives a signed distance from the point you have in space to where the surface of a solid is, you can actually take 2 of those functions, and if you run the max, if you run max, and you'll get the distance between both of those union together. It's like it's crazy easy in comparison to unioning boundary rep stuff, because you have to do intersections and all kinds of weird checks. Maybe I can explain that with a little I can show it maybe. Union frep union, yeah, is literally, oh, I said max, it's actually the min. Right, so you give it two functions, and you return a function that takes in a point and gives back a distance, and you just run it through each function, and you give the minimum back, and boom, you're guaranteed to have a union. That's like that is very easy in comparison to this whole mess with all of the helper functions alongside it. So yeah, it's a lot of work going on here, but that's totally fine. Once it works, then I can optimize it, and I have a system that works, which is awesome. Okay. All right. Now for this one, let's bring these definitions back into this REPL so I can poke around with those. So I changed, so B is still the same. A is now going to be something different. So if I just copy this, I don't know why I'm using different def names, but I'm just going to keep doing it that way for the time being. Okay, so A, only difference is this here. So if I now do polygon union AB, I've got more nil situations, which is very nice. Nice in the sense that it points at some spot to fix up. All right, well, let's do the same sort of thing here. Okay, I'm gonna take that out and have a look at this. Okay. All right, what's going on here? What happened to the nils? Oh, the nils are coming from this part of the setup here, order lines. If I run order lines over this, it causes nils here. So something wrong with my ordering approach, presumably. So this here should mean there's a 1010 somewhere in this list, and it's quite possible that there is not. So why would that happen? Ouch. Yeah, so what's happening here, the way this order lines works is it's just chaining them all next to each other, right? So you recursively pass a line, you use the second point of the line, compare it, and you just pull out of the line list the line that has that point as its first point, and you append that to a list until your list is the right length. It's maybe naive, but it works if you're guaranteed to have all the right line segments. It's just that the order is wrong. But here, something is not correct. So I have situations. So here, there's this line here. There's a segment missing, basically. That's what it appears to be. It appears that there's... No, something's not right. Let's see, what is the result of polygon intersections between A and B? Ah, what? Oh, intersection. Silly me. Okay. Right, so 310 would be here. That's nice and easy. .4,555. Okay, so this here, 9.2 is almost certainly this one. That looks right. And this one would be 9.4555. Then this one is 9.85. Okay, so there's a segment missing between these two intersections. That's what's going wrong. That's what appears to be going wrong if I'm following. So here, the reason these are all nil is because, oh no, I'm slightly wrong there. This 1010 shouldn't be here, basically. Right, because 1010 is right, no, 1010 is here. Something's wrong with that. Okay, something's a little weird and I'm not quite following it yet, but it's related to incorrect segments being generated. Okay. Are you able to put labels on the points? Might make it easier to track them for where they're going for more complex intersections. That's a good point, actually. Oops. Oh boy, let me see. Well, let me see if I can right away do one of these. Okay, for svg/g, svg/text hi. I don't know if that'll work, or I don't know what it'll look like. My text element, it's not perfect. I could maybe do this instead if I try that. Okay, we're kind of on the right track. It's a little ugly, but it does work. Let's try to svg/scale this half. Make them smaller. This might. I think I had like issues with my text elements, so this might. I don't know that that actually scaled it, unfortunately. But it did move it, which is strange. So let's try just this one more time. And then I'll actually put useful labels to it. Okay, so scale is not scaling it, it's just moving it, which is obviously broken, but it should be good enough to make a label anyway. So I'll do let's just try that, see what that looks like. should print it out kind of like a label. Oh, well, that's just weird. I suppose that doesn't make any sense to me. Let's just get rid of the scale. I think I tried to make the text sort of self-centering, which might be causing this weird misplacement. Oh, fantastic. Well, you know, it's kind of there. That's the best I can do with labels for the time being. Let me it's very confusing. It's so hideous. Oh boy. I just make more trouble for myself. Okay, gray is at least not like so distracting. Okay, let's also, I'll just do a little cheat with let here. It's for debugging, so it doesn't need to look great. Yeah, you're right. You're completely right. I am just going to do this little what's the right way to do this? Point string is I don't know how this works. I'll just do it the dumb way. No. Oh, gross. That's okay though. Okay, so format. I think it's O2D. I think. I don't remember. A format. Wait a second. I don't need to do two formats. I could just do. I don't even need string in this. I'm going crazy with this. I think this should work. Okay, we'll just do this space. I think that'll work unless I've got it wrong, but whatever. Test it. Seems legit. No. Well, how does format work? This is not to make it look pretty, it's just to shrink these prints out a little bit better. I don't remember how to write it though. Certainly not like that. Oh. Let's just, I thought I knew how to do it, but I've forgotten, so I'm going to search it before I keep guessing. And then it'll be back to testing. Oh, that's a padding thing. Okay, that I was, so I had something in my brain, but that wasn't what I needed. Point, okay, there we go. I was on the right track, but I was wrong. Yes, okay, that's what I need. There we go. Point to F. Point to F. Okay. All right. Will this improve readability? I think if I use it. Okay, the text is point string. There we go. All right, there we go. Good enough for now. Okay. Whew. Okay, that was a bit of a diversion, but I'm sure that is a little bit helpful, so thanks for that. Thanks for that suggestion. Right, back to what I was trying to figure out here. Okay, right, so if this, let's pop on over to Forge here. If this little setup here were giving me the correct list of lines, I would see, in fact, a line from 9.44, this 9.4, 5.5 to 9.8, 8.8. Excuse me, but I'm pretty sure that's not in the list yet, so polygon union. Right, it should stick out quite well. So this here, 1010, really shouldn't be on this list at all because it's this point right here. This top right green point is 1010. So something is misfiring a little bit here. This is correct, right? It should exist because it's this 9.8 point 9.8 comma 8.8 up to 13 comma 12. So that is this segment. So that's correct. This one here is wrong. 13. Oh wait, maybe it's correct. 13 comma 2 actually is here. 9.4. Yeah. Oh, so that's right. That's fine. So we're only losing track of things after this point right here because we're missing. We need another point that's there. So this is for sure a sign of something going wrong. I don't know why 1010 is showing up at that position. Because there's no intersection there. The wrong line segment is being deleted somewhere along the way, I think. Oh, wait a second. No, okay. This is going to be an interesting one. So it's actually the same segment theoretically has to be trimmed twice. This line, this one here from 9.2 to 10.10 has two points of intersection along it. And that is where a problem is arising. I think if my logic makes any sense, I would theoretically also see no. It's related to that. This singular line has two intersections. Is it because the line starts and ends on intersections, it returns nil? In this case, I don't think that's what it is. I think, because I only run the, so I'm thinking it's kind of like this. This line segment, 9.4, comma 5.5, up to 1010, is this green, this nearly vertical green one here. When the algorithm runs, it correctly discovers that there's an intersection point here. Wait a second, I was gonna say it's basically the line that has two intersections is already passed when it finds any intersection. It doesn't recursively check those segments for intersection points. I think that's kind of what's happening, if that makes sense. So what I need here, that would make sense. Yeah, I do think that's what's going on, but I want to pull out this little bit here and run it in the REPL to see what it returns anyway. Or contrive a sample. Messy stuff. I don't really feel proud of this right now. It's getting closer though. It's getting so close. Let's do this, yeah. Whoa, all wrong. What have I done now? Oh, right. Let's close that up, close that up. There we go. Okay. Right, so now polygon union gives me a whole whack of things here. So it gives me a whole bunch of trims and stuff. This makes sense, this makes sense. 9 to 2, this makes sense. Yeah. This is the one that is getting passed through, right? 9.2 up to there. Okay, so these segments here are almost what I need, but they're wrong. So 9.2 to 10.10 is the original segment. It's being trimmed once at each point, like that. Oh no, it's even being trimmed. It's being trimmed a bunch, but never in a combined way that I actually need. So there's these 4 segments here. This first one here, 9.2 to 9.4, gets correctly discarded, as does this one here from 9.8 to 10.10. But the middle 2 need to be trimmed again, basically. And I don't know, oh boy. I don't know how to handle that successfully. But that's, I'm quite certain that that is what's going wrong, and then everything else is basically fine. It's just that they all get discarded because when I order the line segments, it just nils them all out because it's missing this one piece in the chain, so it can't continue the chain around because there's no known point to continue it from. So that's the problem. Now, what's my solution? I wonder if there's like an Euler formula for intersection counts or something like that. Let me write a note to myself though. Here. Has greater than one intersection point. Currently, it gets passed over once a single trim has occurred on it. Technically, need some sort of iteration or recursion over this so that new trimmed segments are also checked for trims with other intersections. So the first idea is basically perform trim on list of line segments, iterate. When prev list equals latest list, stop iteration. This means all trims are complete. But that feels heavy. That feels too heavy. I don't like it. But that might be the way to go. Right? So you pass into the trim all function, call it whatever, a list of line segments. Then it will find all the intersections on its own. Wait, is that a good idea or a bad idea? I think that's a bad idea. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how I have to do it. Because I'm realizing too, I can't only do it once, because you could have a polygon with any number of crisscross situations. So you could have a single length crossed back and forth like 30 times, in which case you'll have 30 intersection points. And the problem becomes the more intersection points you have, that would slow things down a little bit there. Could you have a method that just passes a line segment, a list of intersection points, and returns a new list of lines that are broken by each segment? Passes a line segment and a list of intersection points and returns a new list of lines that are broken by each segment. So not just a single point, but you could take any number of points and it'll return any number of line segments as intersected by it. That makes sense. Right, so yeah, so basically it would be some function. If I give it the line 0, 0 to 10, 0, and then I pass it the point 2, 0 and the point 5, 0, then it returns to me a line from 0, 0 to 2, 0. Another one from 2 to 5, and then another one from 5 to 10. I think that's what you mean, and I think that's actually a much better approach. Yeah, I actually like that a lot better. Yeah, then it can reuse a lot of the logic already. Yeah, actually, you're on the right. That's a very good point. Let's do suggests. Mike suggests create a function that will trim a line into any n segments given any n points along it. Basically upgrade trim at point to trim at points. Right, so using that, you could do it all in one shot, basically. Yeah. I'm just trying to think about well, let's just make the function, and then I can just go from there. Let's start with that. Okay. Absolutely, I have to clean this logic all up when this is all done. I'm sure some functions are way too complicated, and some functions are trivial, and like there's for sure optimization I can do, but I can't see them when I'm in the middle of figuring this out, so I'll just let it be inefficient for now. Let's see, how does this work now? Trim at points, some line A and B, and some list of points, right? Basically, I cannot just map. Well, right, like if I were just to do map v trim trim, wait, I'll just do it this way, partial trim at point AB over points. This will be wrong because it'll it'll produce the same issue that I have here, right? I think that makes sense. So if I try it, trim at points, this line, I want to trim at 2, 0, 5, 0. Oh, those have to be, it's a little unruly. Yeah, so I have a line 0, 2 is correct, 2, 10 is wrong, 0, 5 is wrong, 5, 10 is correct. So it becomes any interior segment, right? So so this is wrong, obviously, which I knew up front. I just want to think of the smooth way to do it. Oh, I could maybe do something like, no, had to step away. Did I miss anything? You look deep in thought. Didn't miss too much. I am in fact deep in thought. I was proving to myself that this doesn't work. So your suggestion to have a function that will trim a single segment at any number of points, I think is a good approach. And I knew that this wouldn't work, but I was just verbalizing it to myself, why not? I cannot simply trim a single line at each point. I can't map it over that because that will return the wrong segments in the middle. So here I have a sample, the line from 0 to 10, trimmed at 2 and 5, should give me 0 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 10. But I have these two incorrect segments here, 2 to 10 and 0 to 5. Those are wrong. So I'm just trying to think about what I have to do to get this correct. And I am thinking that I have to do it recursively. That's what I'm in the middle of thinking about. If that's actually true or if there's a clever way to do it that I'm just missing. The reason I think I have to do it recursively is because trimming a segment at a point creates two segments, and if you don't know where the other trim points are, or even if you do, you now have to trim the new segments. You cannot trim the original because you're not getting anything new there. So the problem is, I don't know if I could just do straight simple recursion, because you start with a single segment and then you have two segments, so you can't really recur onto a single segment unless I trim and then do a check for which segment another point is in. But if there's another point in each segment, I don't know, like it's like a tree. And I'm just trying to think through the implications of that. That's really all I'm trying to do. It's quite possible that this is actually not too hard, but I'm just overthinking it. But my head's kind of in that zone. I can't think around that at the moment. In theory, when you get both segments back, the first segment is always the start point to the first intersection point, right? That is true if I know that the order of intersection points, excuse me, is in the same order of the, what am I saying? It's possible that the order of intersection points, I want it to not matter what order the intersection points are given in, if that makes any sense. Right? So it is possible that I don't know. I'm losing the train of thought in my own head right now. Sorry about that. I want order to not matter. It's as simple as that. And maybe it still doesn't. Right? So if order of the intersection points it can be arbitrary, I can't rule out up front that the first segment or the second segment do not contain intersection points, right? Like, there could always be another intersection point. Although I'm realizing if it's guaranteed to be a line, I could order on the x value, and that should get me, or on the y value, it should get me a consistent order of intersection points if they're all on a single line. No, if it's a vertical line, that would not work. Shoot. I could order it on the determinant. No, the. See that now I'm getting crazy. This feels too complicated. So, well, let's see. I could order by something like that, maybe 0 0 1 0 0 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 5 1 1 6. What does this do? Error. Oh, comp is wrong. Would that be a consistent order? That's my question to myself. No, this doesn't feel like a smart approach. 0 0 0 1 0 2 0 3 0 3 0 4 0 5 0 -1, 0, -6. Yeah, it's not. Right, so let me see here, 0, 10. Yeah, see there, right, in a situation where where the line is perfectly vertical, I can't sort by only the first value. Yeah, so I could create a unique ordering of the points and go that way, but I don't know that that's what I want to do. Come on. Well, I'm running out of time anyway. I'll just try to theorize a little bit. I've got 15 minutes and I have to get going anyway. And running out of steam, to be honest, for the day. So there is another approach that might work a little bit. I could do something like this. I could filter so the solution will probably hit me after I step away for a few minutes. That's how it always goes. Yeah, I usually go do a workout in the evenings with my brother, and we talk about, you know, his work or, you know, just anything else. And it's amazing how that just unclogs the brain and lets like things just fly through. They don't even always solve the problem, but they're almost always like a very clear next thing to try. It's amazing how it's like every day that happens. It's crazy. But so you're totally right. This'll hit me soon enough. Oops. I do have something that might be a partial step in the right direction. If I do filter the list of points only for ones that are on line, see if that makes any sense. Where's my trim at points thing here? Hey, something's wrong. Okay, that's fine. I know why. Because I really should have to make I have to trace through all the online logic and make it safe to work on 2D and 3D points. The reason I think it needs to be 3D points is because I have a cross product somewhere in there, which is, I believe, not defined for 2D matrices. Yeah, because you can have a cross of two, crossing two vectors the resultant vector is always in another direction, or like an orthogonal plane, so it needs to be three-dimensional. I think that makes sense. Anyway, I need to trace through all that logic so that I can at least pass it in 2D points here, and it'll coerce things later on if it needs to, because this is a pain in the butt. I feel silly every time I have to add z like that. It's not an elegant solution. Oh, that's still not working. What did I do? Oh, I'm almost certain that I have the order messed up. Classic. Classic. Always messing this one up. Let's give that a shot. There we go. Okay, so filter the list of points for only the points that are on the line. So here 2, 1 will not be on the line, and so it should not appear in the list. Also, let me see if I can just get away with this. Yes, okay. Alright, that's good, except that it's well, that's weird. Oh, never mind, that's not weird. I thought I missed the third 0 here earlier, so that's fine. Right, so what I'm doing is just filtering out the points beforehand, and then theoretically, no, this is still wrong, except, wait, let me think. Yeah, I might have been onto something with, if I know that every point provided is along a line already, how could I guarantee a correct ordering of those points from A to B? I would sort it by direction, or sorry, not direction, distance. I could take the distance from A to any of the points and sort it by distance, and that would guarantee the correct order, I think. And I do have a distance function, right? Yeah. What's the distance between 0, 0 and 1, 1? It should be 1.41 something or other. Yeah. Okay, that works. Right, so using that, let points be this filtered out list of points. Then all I have to do is here, if I go thread last points through sort by, then I can sort those points by the function, or by the result of partial distance from A yes, that'll be the sort. Well, let's see if that makes sense. Okay, trim at points 2, 0, 5, 0. Let's see. That's a softball. 6, 5, 5, 6. Yes. Okay, that seems to be working. Okay, so using that, then what I actually can do is now conj ooh, let's see here. Okay, whoop. Okay, so concat A onto that, then concat, no sorry, then conj, because I have a list, then conj B. Let's see if that makes sense. Ooh, not quite. What did I do? Right, so concat, oh, no. I'm getting there. Let's see here, let's step this back a little bit. I always do mix up conj and concat and stuff like that. I never quite get it fully correct. But I do here have, okay, that is correct so far. I'm going to, I have to fix this, right? I have to drop Z for the results of these, sort by. Is drop Z? Oh, I could just drop last. I think that makes sense. Let's try this for a second. Map V, drop last. I think that'll work. Ooh, almost. They have to, I want them in vectors. Right, I would do this instead. Map drop last, and then slap an into V there. Into vec. That'll fix that. Should fix that. No, what did I do wrong? Well, I'll figure that out in just a second. Be right back. Alright, gotta go soon, but I want to finish out this pipeline here because that'll be a good hook for starting on tonight, tomorrow. Okay. Here, map V into vector drop last this business. That'll work. Yeah, okay. Concat A conj onto this business. Oh, right, that's why something was wrong. Yeah, I had the order. Yeah, okay. So I cannot do that. I could cons. Let's try cons. I don't know that that's correct. So let's find out. That's almost right, except that this point is in the incorrect spot. Vector. Oops. Come on. Almost there. Almost there. Okay, so that won't work, right? Oh, it does. Okay, apply vector makes more sense. Okay, so I've got this vector of points so far, and if I concat yes, there we go. Okay. Almost. I have to kind of break the rule here a little bit. Conj onto the list the point B. Then let's see if that's correct. Okay, 0, 0, 5, 0, 6, 0, 10, 0. Perfect. Then just map this through partition 2, 1. That should work. 0 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 0. Oh. I'm reading it wrong. 0 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 10. Correct. These all, I want to put them into vectors, but that looks like a good step. Map v vec. Is that right? Yeah, okay. There we go. So trim at points seems to work. If I do this with just a single point, it gets me a list of 2 lines. Perfect. So this here runs only when there is a set of points, though. That's the only thing. Otherwise, it has to return nil. So this returns something, but this should return nil. Okay, all right. So that is looking promising. So using that logic, I actually might be able to just type an S here and have something that works, but let's see if that makes any sense. Oh boy, I've got a long history here. I don't know why I didn't just type the thing out. It'll be shorter at this point. Okay, something wrong there. Okay, we're on the right track though. If I do trim at point singular, this will have to now be like this, right? I also won't have to, I have to change it a little bit. So I have to change it a bit to make it work, but this should generate results. So this will have no physical difference, or it shouldn't anyway. This should still be incorrect. If I do order lines of this, I should still get the nil issue. Yes, at the same spot, which is, it makes sense. The reason for that is here, trims is no longer, I no longer need to map this. I actually just need to run trim at points with x's directly and then filter it the same way. So what I should be able to do, I'm gonna keep this here just for posterity, but I should be able to do trim at points, the line, and the points x's, and that should produce a result for me. Ooh, close, but not quite. Huh. Well, okay, I'm close, but still wrong. I was so close. At least I felt as if I was. Okay, so here, trim at points takes a line. Let me print a return. Well, print is not what I. Let me return x's so I have a clear idea of what's going on. Okay, so those are 2D points there. Let's have a look at okay. If I give some line, let's have a look at okay, here's a list of lines. Did I try calling trim at points by itself with multiple points being passed in? Yeah, I did earlier with a horizontal line in the REPL, and I'm trying to do it now with this line here, just to see what I can find, really. And I'm gonna pass in this list of intersection points, which, so let's try to set that up. Trim at points, the line. What line is that again? That's 9, 2 to 10, 10. Right? Yeah. Okay, so it does kind of trim things. There is a problem, but I do have the correct segment inside there. So I only have one weird issue, which is this here, which is returning a degenerative line there. That might be related to float and int issues, but I don't know if that's true. No, it still creates that. So I'm closer. There's one extra point there for some reason. Might have just missed something, but that's okay. I have. So basically what I'm kind of thinking is the trim at points function seems to be, or is close to, working now. It does give me all of the segments that are correct in this instance, right? I have from 9 to 2 to 9 to 9.4, which is here. And then I have 9.4 to 9.45 to 9.85, like which would be that. This here is the missing segment in my other setup, which is this line right here. And then the last one here is this here. So in the rest of the algorithm, this line and this line should be removed for me using the midpoint checks later on. So the function is working. It's just a matter of it's not being like I'm not wiring it in correctly for some. This is not working yet for some reason, and I haven't figured that out yet. That's all, because it should nil. It should give nil values when it doesn't work, which is what I need normally. So there's just something wrong with my switching over, but that's surely something I can sort out. So I can't run count on a type double. That seems to me like there's a malformed list here or something like that. So like there's an issue right here. But I do have to get going. So that's gonna have to be a problem for another day or another hour. But in isolation, the trim at points function is working-ish. There's some degenerate problems, but I can fix that. It's just a matter of wiring it into this logic here, and that should be okay. Then it's a matter of testing a little more. All right, take it easy. Made some good progress today. Yeah, thanks for the encouragement, Mike. Thanks for the suggestions, too. In particular, the idea of running trim with a list of points right away, that was pretty clever. So helped me out through a bit of a jam there. So yeah, thanks. But yeah, I'll be on my way. Good luck to you. Glad you could help out. Yeah, it's a nice little bonus, I think, when you put streams on, to get a little bit of help here and there, and to just get some nice chat. I really appreciate that. So I'll be on my way. Anyone else tuned in later or whatever, if you're ever inclined, you feel free and join in on the chat too. There's always room for some more chit chat. So you go right ahead, anyone. All right, enough from me for now. I will be back again tomorrow, and then back again Thursday and Friday. So have a good one. I will be around later. Bye.